Right, guys, I'm going to tell you why not everybody should go to college. I think the reason the school system tells us that everybody should go to college or university is to make money. That's it, basically. The more people go to these colleges and universities, the more money they make. They're not doing it for the individuals, for the benefit of the individual or the students, because I heard in some YouTube video that only about some like 20% of people who actually start like a university course actually finish it and graduate. I mean, that's ridiculous, okay? And I think it's part of this culture nowadays where, oh, everyone's brilliant, everyone's special, everyone can achieve great things, you know? And if you tell some poor performing student that, look, you shouldn't go to university, you're not academically smart enough, you should just maybe settle for some entry level job when you leave school, then you're seen as a bad teacher. There was some teacher who, after his students got poor grades, he decided to staple McDonald's applications to their exams, and I don't necessarily think that's the right thing to do, but I mean, he's making a good point there. If you're a poor student, you shouldn't really be going to university. Okay. Now, I was watching a YouTube video from 1959, which is going back a while, and these people, there was this meeting for a group of people who scored 120 or higher in their IQ tests in their like last year at school. I think that's like the SATs that they do at that age. Um, but anyway, so these 9 people were the only people in that year group who were told to go to university or college. All right, and they're getting 120 or higher in their IQ test. Now, if you get 120 in an IQ test, it means you're smarter than 90% of the population. You're in the top 10%. And yeah, so that is a small percentage of the population. Okay. And nowadays, if you get an IQ of 70, you're told to go to university. My last year at school, I did an IQ test and I got 70, and I was still told to go to university. Like, people need to start using their brains. Okay. Um. Now look, if you have a low IQ and you really want to go to university, I think you're gonna have to take time out to work on your brain. Um, because like if you have an IQ of like say even 100 and you're trying to do some university course, it's just gonna be too much hard work for you. It's gonna be painful. It's gonna be very stressful. Um, you're gonna have headaches and migraines, and it's just not a good idea. If you ask me. So yeah, what I would say is, let's say uh you just left school, you're 18, your IQ is a bit on the low side. Um, you want to go to university. You want to become, let's say, an accountant. It's your life dream, but your IQ is too low. I would say just work on your brain in your spare time. Okay. Now it depends what type of career you're going for. If it's something like, say, engineering, physics, maths, I think you're better off to spend your spare time working on those things, trying to become more competent at it, trying to become smarter in that area. If you're like me, if you want to become a YouTuber, I think you're better off to maybe read. That's what I do. Just 20 minutes reading a day. Really doesn't take much time out of your day if you have very low IQ. And just by reading for 20 minutes a day, I've improved my IQ massively. If you look at my channel, look at my oldest videos compared to now, I think it's fair to say there's a big difference. Okay? And yeah, so here's what happened when I went to college. I went to like a PLC course, which stands for Post Leaving Cert. It's like a course. If you do really well in it, you can progress onto like level sevens, level eights, which would be like your 4 year degree courses in universities. Um, Personally, I was forced to go into it. I wanted to leave and look for a job. My mother wouldn't let me. She started roaring abuse at me, and so I just went in. And my mother said if I'm not in full time education, she's going to kick me out of the house. So I only went to college every day so I wouldn't get kicked out of the house. Okay, that's a bit ridiculous, because I knew like I had no hope of getting the grades to get into a university. So I was just going through the motions, getting crap grades, just going in not to get kicked out of the house, and that really is stupid. I think people need to start thinking more critically. People are just such a slave to trends. They'll be everything they hear on the media or the news. Like my dad, if he, because they say on the news that, oh, carbohydrates make you fat and fat makes you lean. Because he hears that, he's like, oh, cut out the carbs, no carbs. I just need to eat fat sausages, rashers, eggs, and you know, and he's fat. He's fat. He doesn't. Not that he doesn't eat any carbs. He does eat some carbs, but not a lot. It's a very high fat diet he's on, and he's fat as a result. And he was always telling me, "Oh, Mark, you're eating these carbs. It's very fattening. Bread and pasta is very fattening." But I used to eat that by the bucket load, and I'm still very skinny. Now I still think eating too many carbs can lead to other problems, but weight gain isn't one of them. But that's kind of going off topic here. It's just that you can't believe everything you hear on the media or in the education system. They have an agenda. They don't necessarily care about the individual. How could they? How could they? Just think about that. How could they? If you're some guy working in the Ministry of Education or the something like that, how could you care about every single individual person in Ireland? You just wouldn't. Okay. What you care about is the bigger picture. You might think, oh, we need a certain amount of people in engineering, certain amount of people in uh, working as doctors, accountants, lawyers, bar, all this stuff, And I think I'm running out of things to say here, but yeah, not everyone should go to university. That's the main point of this video. We have a shortage in trades, like carpentry, electrical, plumbing, those kind of things. People say, oh, I think a lot more people used to do those trades in the past, and personally, I think it's a much better idea than going to university because if you're going to college or university, you probably have to take out loans to pay for your college tuition. Now in Ireland, it's not as bad because we have all these like grants and stuff, and college isn't that expensive. But over like in America, it's really bad. And like what do how do you if you don't have anyone to pay for your education, or you're not on a scholarship or anything, how you gonna pay for your expenses, everyday expenses? Because you don't get paid to go to college. You have to work a job. Like I work at McDonald's, and the amount of people there who go to university and they've no time to do anything else other than go to university and work. Because like I heard one girl said one day she was in college from 8 to 3, and then she had to go to McDonald's and work from 5 in the afternoon until 1 in the morning. It's the whole day's gone, pretty much. She's probably not even going to get enough sleep. And if you're intelligent enough to go to university, then really, like a job in like McDonald's or Tesco or any of these lousy jobs, they're gonna bore the crap out of you. Okay, I think those jobs should be reserved for people with lower IQs who like struggle to get a job. You know, and it's just ridiculous. If you do say trade like plumbing, carpentry, electrical, the three main ones, then you learn on the job. I think you do go to like college to do classroom studies and stuff, but you get paid to do it, even though you get paid a small amount in your first year. I think if you're like a carpenter, plumber, or electrician, you get paid something like 250 euro a week in your first year, which isn't a lot, but pay your way, I guess, and you earn more as you go along, and it's just a much better option, I think. I really think university is a scam. Alright, that's my video.